Girl, I love that we have both showed up with these curls, and I can't even tell you what the morning's been. That's why I have curls, and I know that mine doesn't look quite right. But you know what?
That's what we say. I managed to curl mine in the living room by the reflection of my refrigerator. I was like, I'm going to try this crimper. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try a crimper. And maybe it'll just look like I got up. And I was just like, yawn. Oh, this wave, it's natural. But I can see it's interesting. I kind of want to just put a plant here or maybe a glass of water and this section right here. Look how good this looks now.
It really
Mhm.
doesn't, because it looks like you're holding your glass up.
So, yeah.
I know it.
Shocking. How dare you? I'll have a sip of mine. How are you?
Ah, it's not my knee. That was not my knee.
Did you you hurt yourself? Maybe we need one more sip. Start again. Shake it off.
I got a massage last weekend on Sunday, and
Nice.
I had so many little bruises all over everything. Like, I don't know how. There's bruises everywhere. And I started to think as I was laying there and William was rubbing me, I was like, I wonder if he thinks that there could possibly be something going on with all of these bruises. Like, I wonder if he thinks, like, what is this lady doing during the week? Like, she's the tightest lady, and now she comes with all of these bruises. Like, is she okay?
Right? Like, is she all right?
Is she okay?
Of course, that reminds me of my one of our favorite stories, which is we had a friend in school who wore a giant, well, they were a giant tall human, and they wore a giant Twinkie shirt. Yes, the Twinkie man, that was their shirt, Twinkie. So at some point, we started just calling this person Twinkie because we were so delighted by the fact that uh, how amazing that they are wearing a Twinkie shirt.
Mhm.
One time at a party, maybe me hadn't spoken maybe just a little too much of the tweed. Twinkie always on the tweed, always on the tweed. I said, "Oh, my shoulder hurts so bad." Twinkie goes, and I think I'd slept on it wrong. Twinkie goes, "I'll rub you." With Twinkie super high at the party, rubbing, 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 rubbing. I'm super high at the party. It goes from a point of feeling good to a point where I'm like, I'm not sure it feels good anymore, but like maybe it's because I got a kink in my shoulder. But also, like, ouch, it's starting to hurt. And I was like, that's what you got to do to get a kink out. You got to get it out. Uh, uh, uh. The next day or next 2 days later, I bought ballet class, and my ballet professor, uh, Gladys goes, and she was beautiful. She had this beautiful South African accent, and she was like, I'm not even trying to imitate it because it was just so delightful. And she was like, Shannon, what is wrong with your back? What happened to your back? It looked like I had rug burns on my back. And I was like, Twinkie did it. And she was like, you let a Twinkie rub you? But she was like, mm. She
Mm,
was too, she was not going to ask any questions. She just moved on and just
mhm.
gave me that side eyed look in the mirror. I was like, yes, Gladys, yes, that's correct. Uh, Twinkie got in there. Thank you, Twinkie. Cheers to Twinkie.
Cheers to Twinkie.
Oh, Twinkie.
I'm
Oh.
inspired by you. I know we said we were going to be authentic and vulnerable, but I never know what story you're going to tell. And that one, I started to get a little sweaty. So,
Which one is she telling? I kept it in the Twinkie circle.
my friend, it's been your birthday week.
Oh my
You
gosh.
climbed a mountain.
It's been
And
so much.
it's been so much. How do you feel?
I feel like so last weekend I began the ascent to climbing Mount Shasta with five other amazing humans, one being my hubby, and we went on with guides. So You know, there, safety is number one. You can have summit fever, which means I got to summit, I got to summit, I got to summit at all costs. And and then there is like what do you have in your tank? What do you have in your reserves, right? And so many powerful things happened on this journey here. Number one, like Shasta is supposed to be one of the root chakras of the world, and you feel that. You feel there is an energy, there's a presence. You feel it's very powerful, and so you're climbing this mountain, and you get to a certain point, and there is like everybody stops here for water. It's like a natural spring water. They call it magic water. I got you some magic water.
Yes.
It's supposed to have healing powers. It's supposed to be really, really healthy for you. And that's where you replenish your water as you're going up the mountain. Our packs are 60 pounds, which is just an incredible amount of weight to carry on your back. And it feels at times like it's just too much. And there's other people that are like skipping along and they seem to be doing fine. So we get the magic water and they talk to us about mountain summit fever. And they say that we're going to check in with you at, when you get below 60%, you need to let them know. When do you get below 60%? And we'll talk more about that on how that impacts our life when we get to 60%. But I thought it was something really interesting to think about. Like, when are you at 100%? When do your resources get depleted? And if you get to a point that you're below, when you get 65, 60, you got to raise your hand and go, wait, 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 wait. And that is such an interesting thought, but we're not going to get there yet. Think
Okay.
about that 60% in your life because I tripped on that for quite some time. So I wake up in the morning. Well, first of all, we wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning to go to the bathroom. So we're finding our little bathroom with our headlamps on, me and Kirk. We're like walking around, me and the hubby.
Did you wear
And
the oatmeal REI underwear?
yeah, I'm wearing my oatmeal. I'm wearing my oatmeal underwear because it's stuffed in the bottom of my sleeping bag. So that's my treat. Your treat when you go to bed is to go to the bottom of your sleeping bag, pull on your clean underwear, get rid of your old, and put on clean socks. Everything else is dirty. Everything else is what you've already worn. And I sat in sap, so my booty has a nice big old spot on it. But you get your reward is clean underwear, oatmeal underwear, and clean socks. Whoop, whoop. That's what you get. So we walk out. He says, turn off your light. We turn off our light. We look up at the stars. Primo, gorgeous. Like the whole universe is above your head. Like you've never seen anything like it. And then it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So people are starting to go up the mountain. So you see other little headlamps, like almost like a firefly going past you as other people, because that's when you have to start ascending. We're not ascending yet. We're going to go the next day, but you can start to see all of these people going, going, going. And by all these people, there are only 15,000 people a year that climb this mountain. So thinking about that, I am one of 15,000 this year. Isn't that cool?
Yes.
One of 15,000 people who will ever see these beautiful sights
Mm,
a year. Mm.
amazing.
So wait, I wake up. I've forgotten it's my birthday. One of our people goes, Happy birthday. And everybody is real sweet about it. And I get my birthday wishes. We go to 50-50. That's the 50% camp where we're 50% up the mountain. And we're going to wake up that night at, or next day at 2 o'clock in the morning. When we wake up, we are sleeping on snow. They have made us a snow kitchen, which means they have dug and dug and dug. So we climb down snow stairs, sit in our little snow kitchen on our mats, and we eat oatmeal. And two of our folks say, "Hey, will you and we'll call them the Dollies. They're identical twins. The Dollies say, turn off your, and they're our good friends that we have traveled with. They say, turn off your lights. And then they start playing dueling banjos, but they have these little lights they put next to their nostrils. And they are playing or serenading me a birthday wish with these little dueling nostrils. And they go, so that's hilarious. We eat our oatmeal and we start climbing. Um, my glasses fog up and I can't see the person in front of me. So I kind of am like, I hope I can do it. I hope I can see them. Um, they tether us into ropes and they put us in two teams. You can tell one team is stronger. That's not my team. I'm not on the strong team. There's a strong team. And it's hard not to feel like doubt at that point because you're like, it's a strong team. They've divided us by who's the strongest, who's going to make it to the top, most likely, and who's not. And we start ascending. I am having problems eating. I'm not feeling hungry and I'm not eating enough. Um, so as we're going up, we get past the point we've ever gotten before, the previous climb. But I'm starting to feel my blood sugar is going down. I'm not feeling it and I can't get to food. You can't get to food. You are climbing like literally up a wall. That's what it feels like an ice wall. You have crampons on your feet and you are climbing up an ice wall. And I can't get to food. And in my backpack, I have Werther's Originals. I have one in my mouth and I want to spit it out. Like I'm like, this tastes gross. It's not enough sugar. I'm plummeting. And we have 2 hours before we can get a break because we're in what's called the bowling alley. And that's where the boulders fall. So you've got to move quickly through the bowling alley. You cannot stop at in the bowling alley. That's where they fall. You got to keep going. And I can feel it. They do a check. They say, how's everybody doing? I go, one person says 85, another person says 75, and I'm like 65, but I'm really like below 50. And they go, really, Shannon? Okay, your steps look great because they watch you, making sure they're like, your steps are great. Of course, my steps are great. I'm a dancer. Of course, my steps are going to look great. That's going to be the last thing that fails on me is my steps. But they watch to make sure. Another person in our group, they're watching their steps. They're like, you got to clean it up or we're going to send you back. It's not a threat, but you got to clean up your footwork. And it's called the French step. You're crossing over. There's a special step you've got to do as you're going up the mountain. And team, I get really close and I go, I got to call it. I'm at 60 and I can't go anymore. And they go, Shannon, are you sure you're only 30 minutes to what they call the thumb. You're only 30 minutes from the thumb. You can look up like that and you can see the thumb. And I'm like, I can't because I'm about to slip. My footwork is starting to slip. And so they untether me and I start going down the mountain. And Kirk looks at me, my husband, and we're climbing a lot for his dad. His dad climbed the mountain, and that is an emotional part. And his dad passed away 2 years ago. And I'm going to get emotional. I can feel it. He says, do you want me to come with you? And I said, no, I'm good. And he goes, I can feel my dad right now. And I said, I know. He goes, he's just like with me right now. He goes, I can feel him. And I said, I know, I'm good. You keep going. But I can't. And so I start to descend and everybody continues to climb. And it was the right move. But how beautiful that his dad was with him and they kept climbing. And it was just a really powerful day. And I didn't know till I was down the mountain. And I kept waiting to hear how they were. And I was slow down the mountain and it was the right call. And I kept waiting for the call to come in to tell me they had made it. But there was something wrong with the radio. So I just had to keep waiting. It took me so long to get to the mountain, too long. And I only had to get to 50-50 and I would wait for them. And it was the right call. um, Kirk decided to turn around. He said, I got to the thumb. And he goes, and then it was like my dad was gone. He goes, all of a sudden, he goes, I couldn't feel him anymore. And he goes, I looked around and they go, you want to keep going? And he goes, no, my dad is, he's, I think this is as far as I'm supposed to go. And another one of our friends could have kept going, but she said she didn't want to be by herself in a group of strangers. She goes, it didn't matter to her. So she decided to turn around. But three of our people made it and summited. And to watch their emotional, how their journey of like was just incredible. So every one of us had a different story, which is life, right?
Yeah. And how
So
is
that's my story of Mount Shasta.
what can you acknowledge yourself for?
Well, I made the right call, right? And the right call is if you are going to be a danger to yourself, if you're going to be a danger to other people, um, for me, that's when I called it. And then not feeling guilty about that and not feeling bad about that and knowing that was the right call.
Hmm.
For whatever reason, I knew I had to eat and I just couldn't eat that day. Like I could not make myself eat. And you have to make yourself eat 200 plus calories every hour. And I just couldn't do it. Like I couldn't eat breakfast. I didn't finish breakfast. I couldn't eat the bar on our first break. Like I just couldn't do it. But
Hmm.
you have to do it. Like that is the only way up the mountain. You have to keep eating.
Hmm.
And I couldn't do it that day. But that thinking about everybody thinking about where your reserves are really stuck with me this week. Thinking about, do we ever wake up at 100%? Probably not, right? We always wake up with our resources, you know, whatever you slept the night before, whatever's going on in your life. Like, and thinking, okay, today I'm starting today at 75. I'm starting today emotionally here. Where do we start the day? And what does it mean? Like, if you start the day less than 65%, how can you even be expected to go forward?
Hmm.
Like their test is to say if you're at 60, go home, go back. Isn't that interesting to think about that?
Yeah, because I feel like it's just another test of putting yourself first. You know what I mean? For people pleasers or self-sacrificers, it's like, okay, what does that even mean? Because you've spent your whole life not putting yourself first
Yeah.
or feeling that, any kind of health or mindset is a weakness or a challenge that you have to push through. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
are last on that list. You
Oh
put
yeah.
everybody above yourself. And when you get somewhere that's like your life depends on you putting yourself first and being
Yeah.
truthful with what type of reserves you have and trying to, process that and understand that and not let ego and pride get in the way on in a situation where it is a life threatening not
Mm-hmm.
to just yourself but the whole team. That's a big test you put yourself on.
It really is because it's like you said, you have to think about it. And when you're climbing one step at a time, you can only stay, it's so physically exerting that you can't think about anything but the present. Like you can't be thinking about the past and you can't be thinking about too much of the future other than where are my reserves right now. But you do have to have 40% to get down the mountain to your car. You need 40%. So it's going to take 60, it's going to take everything you have to get up, but you still have to keep 40% in the tank to get back down. And if you think about that, like that is really powerful when we think about saving 60% for ourselves
Hmm.
and 40% for everybody else.
Mhm.
And we don't do that. That seems bananas. Right now, that seems like crazy to say that. You're like, well, then I'm giving my kids only 40% of me? No, I got to give them, let's take that up to 80. It's like, so you give your kids 80, that means you have 20% left for you. Hmm. Then how are you going to be your best self at 20%? You're never going to be your best self at 20% if you give 80%, or to your, your life partner, your love, your heart, right? You go, I'm going to give them 90% of me. I'm going to give them all of me. This is a partnership. Wait, you're going to give them 90% of you and it's a partnership? Then they only have to give 10% if it's a partnership, right? They to get to they you're giving 90% of you. What are they giving? And that
Or
really,
what does that 90% of you look like if you're giving, or what does that 10% of you look like if you're giving 90% to other people? I can guarantee that that 10% looks pretty resentful. It is not, doesn't have good listening ears, like I would say at school. You know what I mean?
no,
Like,
like they don't, yeah, not they don't have good listening ears. At some point you get frustrated or you just get sad. You keep like, and then you have this voice, and this might be relatable to some of you. I try and I try and I give and I give. You are trying, you are giving, you're giving 90%.
mm-hmm,
And you're leaving this little tiny hole left for you. No wonder you're exhausted at the end of the day. No wonder you're fed up. No wonder you're crying for no reason. You are crying for a reason. You're depleted.
mm-hmm,
You're depleted. And so that was such a powerful tool. And they kept saying that all the way up. They were like, this is so important to us because safety's first. They were like, we're going to keep asking you, where are you at? Where are you at? And I thought, I don't even ask myself where I'm at every day. I don't say to myself, where are we at right now? Are we at 65? If we're dipping below 65, do we need to go into a room by ourselves? Do we need to take a walk? What do we need to do to get back up to 65?
mm-hmm,
And once you get below 60, you got to turn around.
mm-hmm,
You got to go home.
mm-hmm.
How many times in our life have we pushed way below 60 and said, that's okay, I'll just keep going? Or somebody's asked us to. They've asked us to push through.
Mm-hmm.
You think about the relationships that were modeled for us growing up as children, whether that is teachers losing control in a classroom, um, coaches, parents, and stuff like that, and watching them. And then we model where they get depleted to, whether that's a teacher losing control in a classroom and just screaming and yelling, um, and getting way below that 60, right? Or thinking about, for me, dance teachers getting way below that 60 and just losing, or watching my parents fall below and then thinking, oh, that must be what it takes to be loved.
I love you because you have such a beautiful, like, feminine, like emotional uh part of you. And then you also have like this beautiful, like masculine, like logical part of you. And I always wonder which one you're going to bring to the table. Like, will you be in that, when you think of like yin and yang and balancing the emotional and the logical, it's like, ah. And what I'm hearing you say is that when you were climbing Mount Shasta, you were very much in your masculine, your action, your logical mind of, I am really categorizing my energy level into the scalable, thing. I'm not listening to anybody else's outside opinion. I am logically fitting my energy into this scalable thing, and I'm listening to myself, and I'm knowing that I'm at this and I need this to get here, and so I'm going to logically make a decision that I'm actually aligned with and okay with, and I'm gonna make that decision to go back down and being absolutely okay with it.
Yeah.
And then
So,
I'm hearing that insight also brought you into, can I use this strategy or this tool in other areas of my life? And what does that look like? And
yeah.
then I hear you saying even further that that brought you into, okay, how much energy am I giving to other people and how much am I keeping for myself? And no wonder I'm reacting in a certain way when I've given all of this energy, but this is that energy that I keep for myself and then I'm reacting. So you're seeing that same pattern of that people pleasing and that self sacrificing where you give and give and give and give, and then it's not necessarily reciprocated. So, reciprocated.
Mhm.
And so then that also builds that resentment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a lot to process all at once. It's
I
like a bunch
know.
of
I
stacking
know.
of questions. So I just want to like
It's a
center us
lot.
down and say, that's huge, my
Yeah.
friend. That's
It's a
huge.
big, it's a big thing to think about because when you think about you have to be that precise because you're tethered to three other people. And I mean, if you start to compromise, you're endangering not only yourself, but them. And there's also like no way to get off the mountain, but to descend the mountain.
Mhm.
Like, there's no way, like, if you were to go, like, I can't do it, I just can't do it, and sit there, it's like,
Mhm.
well, here's what's about to happen. It's like being in the desert. It's like you don't have the resources on you to make it through the snow melt, which means the boulders are going to start to fall at some point because people are shouting, rock, 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 right? And if you lose like even a water bottle, like I saw two people drop a water bottle. You lose your water bottle. That's a boulder. If you think about it, going
People
down
are
the mountain.
carrying Stanleys up there? Oh my
No,
God.
they're carrying like a 1 liter bottles or water bottles. But it like we were like told we were like the water bottle can't be on the outside of the pack. You can't even reach back to take a sip of water because if you drop it, it is a rock size that will hit somebody in the head going down, and that like it's crazy. So no water bottles during this one section. You have to
Mhm.
just, it's 2 hours through the bowling alley. You got to keep going. And I was like, you can't do that. You can't even grab your water out there. Because if you drop it, you're going to hurt somebody. And two people dropped it and everybody started shouting, look out. And they all the way down, right? Like it's just your safety, your health, like has to be number one. And we just don't, in my daily life, I don't think about that. I never prioritize that much.
Oh
But
God, no.
if, like, you think about if you prioritized yourself that much, and if somebody said to you, before you can have a child, you have to prioritize yourself at all times, you have to stay at above a 65. And then you can have a child. And any point you feel below, you're heading below 65, you've got to call in somebody to help you with this child.
Yes.
What would we be like as parents? Like, can you imagine the impact that would have on like humanity and parents and children? Before you go into a relationship, you've got to get yourself to above 65. You've got to train for it. And then if you ever feel yourself going below 65, you've got to take a time out.
No, because our system is built to, it doesn't go that way. You
No.
think that, you are in a system where it's going to protect you. We are not in that system. We are in systems that are designed of you show up at all costs. We don't care,
Yeah.
how you're feeling or what you're doing. And on top of that, we also are managing that shame. Like it's a weakness to
Yeah.
have a medical condition, or it is a weakness to, not push through, or, there are
Yeah.
expectations of, you have to do this at all cost. It doesn't matter, you know.
You can't stop. It's weakness to um yeah, it's a weakness if your relationship is failing, right? Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. I remember one time I was dating this. I'm not even so sure he was a man. He was a boy. And I remember we were falling apart, right? And I remember thinking, don't tell anybody. Just don't tell anybody. Because he was very much part of our group, right? Like we all had, like, we were all a group. We were all together. Like a lot of times you date when you're group, right? So and so are a couple, so and so little ditty about Jack and Diane. Jack and Diane are a couple, right? And then, whoever this group is, Jack and Diane's friends, and Jack and Diane's friends, you're all a big old group. And if one couple starts to fall apart, it's like, what happens? Who gets the group? Right? Don't say anything. Don't best not to say anything. You failed. You're failing if you can't, because then you're going to lose your friend group. So many things are going to start to disintegrate. I'll stay in it for this group, or I'll stay in it because of it. There's just, the shame is endless. It just spirals like like one of those marbles that.
So we're talking about that shame voice, right? That comes up, that critical voice. And even in the last episode, we were talking about that critical voice that comes in your head. Like even when you feel good about something, days later, you're like, oh, I should have done this or I should have done that. I'm curious, has that voice come up for you? And how did you turn it around?
you know, it it didn't come up for me when I called it.
At all?
No, I didn't feel that at I didn't feel it there. I felt worried about Kirk. I felt worried about like when he was like, I'll turn around for you. I felt worried about him. But as I was descending, I was so shaky. I knew it was the right choice. Like what I have done since then is say, why couldn't I eat more? Like, why couldn't I eat more? And I was like, I just couldn't. I think I had a cold. Because I remember I said to you, you said, how did it go? And I was like, I had a cold this whole week. I didn't feel good this week. So I think there were things that I couldn't control.
Mhm.
Like I was starting to get sick going up
Mhm.
because I couldn't eat. I didn't feel hungry. And I couldn't even make myself. And I can eat, people. I can eat. I am not somebody who can't eat. So I think the only thing I've been reflecting on is like, well, if I could have eaten, but then again, I think
It doesn't
climbing the
matter.
mountain, it doesn't
That
matter. It's
wasn't
like
your
it's a
test.
perfect storm. It's like
Yes.
everything has to be perfect in order for you to do something like this. Everything has to be perfect. And it's like, it just wasn't my day.
That
I
wasn't what the
made the right
universe
choice.
was testing you with. We know
Nope.
Shannon Mahoney could have gotten up to the top of the mountain. You're athletic, you know how to
Yep.
regulate your nervous system, like you have done the breath work. It is not about can Shannon Mahoney get up the mountain. It's about can Shannon Mahoney listen to her body without
Mhm.
shaming herself and without her ego and pride stepping in, that critical voice stepping in and then shaming her for not being perfect. That's your test. That's the universe brought that test to you and you passed it.
I did. It was the right decision. It really was. It was the best decision.
So now you have to anchor this moment in because this is a moment when you listen to your intuition and you
Mm,
knew and you didn't second guess your intuition and you knew it was absolutely the right decision. And then overthinking did not take over. So anytime that you in the future when you come up on this, you're like, no, did it feel like that moment when that intuition was like, yes, dead on? Because remember, your intuition talks to you that first like 2 or 3 seconds, and then your overthinking mind takes over. And so anything after that, you're not going to know. But your intuition does not fight with your mind. So you knew in that moment, I'm out. Like I'm calling it right here. And that was your intuition. Your intuition does not fight with your mind. I'm so proud of you, lady.
I mean, thank you. And I'm writing this down. If you see my eyes
And
going down, I'm
another
writing.
validation that I want to give you is you did not ask for outside validation. You did not call anybody. You did not reach out to anybody. You knew you even the guides were like, "What, Shannon? No, you're doing fine. I know you can do it." And you're like, "Nope. I'm sticking with my intuition, with what it says, and I'm doing what's best for me."
Wow.
And that's a big thing for you too, because you and I do not do that. We do not listen to ourselves. We listen to the voice of others, or we care more about how others are going to interpret our choice than making the right choice for us. You know what I mean?
Yes, I
We're too
do.
worried about someone else's feelings instead of making the right, healthy choice for us. And
Mm,
that's not what this year's about. We're listening to ourselves, and it is hard because you know what? When you put yourself first, it impacts the other people that you do things for, and that,
yeah,
and they're going to push back because they're not going to like it because we're not, you know doing it. And then they're going to push back. And then we're going to be in that crossroads like, oh, I'm feeling uncomfortable. And you're like, nope. If this is the right thing, I'm going to choose myself. And it's hard. It is hard to do.
you're right. Thank you for saying that. You're right. Thank you. I wrote that down. You listen to your intuition.
I'm proud of you, lady. Look at you.
I got some magic water. I listened to my
Yeah.
intuition.
No longer are you letting Twinkies rub the skin off of your back. You're saying, hey, Twinkie, that hurts. Back
Yes,
up.
back up, Twinkie, back up.
I love that for Kirk. I absolutely love that for him.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Those signs that you get from loved ones that are so precious, you know, after they're gone.
Yeah,
If you look for them, they're everywhere.
yeah. I I I was driving before the trip. I was listening to a podcast, and it was in the podcast. I think it was one of Oprah's like podcasts, and I'll have to think about which one it was so I can give more. But it was I could. Did I already say this? I was listening to it, and they were talking about what happens. What happens when you pass on, what nobody knows. And this person said, I think it's an adventure. Like, what if it's an adventure? Like, you don't know, but it's an incredible adventure. And while I was driving, I could smell like, and I was driving to the Bay Area, and I could smell this like smell in the car. It smelled like a cigar in the car. And so I stopped, and I was driving it. The GPS or Google or whoever, had taken me off road to avoid traffic, is where it had taken me. And I was in this
But
back road. It was crazy. And so I decided to stop the podcast. I stopped the podcast. I'm like, I got to focus on this drive. I got to focus on where I'm going. And I'm smelling something weird. I'm like, that's weird. And then the podcast starts up again. And I'm like, huh, no, I get it. And then I'm like, stop. I gotta stop. I'm focusing, right? I'm driving, driving. It starts up again. I'm like, okay, what? And I start to think, I'm like, it's a cigar smell. So my dad passed like 3 years ago, and he liked to smoke cigars, and that was one of the last things in when we were in the car in North Carolina. He said to my mom, he goes, "Hey, can I stop at the cigar store?" And she goes, "Not my favorite, but it's my vice." She goes, "I get it's your vice." And he goes, "Listen, I'm getting ready to start chemo. I got a port in my chest. I can have one vice." So
That's right.
I thought, I thought in my mind it was him saying, "Tell your mama I'm on an adventure. I am on an adventure." And the day that we started going up the mountain, my sister had to go have like a mass removed it, and they didn't know what it was. And I said, "Enjoy going under." I go, "My friend Jennifer says it's a Men in Black moment, but I go, I would like you to imagine that maybe you're going to get to go hang out with him and he's going to tell you some dirty jokes. You guys are going to have a cocktail and you'll be out before you know it." And she said it, she was like, I just kept thinking about that as I went under. She was like, "I'm about to have a drink with him. It's gonna be good. We're about to have a drink and it's gonna be really great." And she stayed really alert. Like, I come out of anesthesia and I'm like, it's like I've been out. She was like, she goes, "I could remember what they were is talking about." And she stayed really alert, like the whole thing. Like it was a really alert. And I was like, her and I got to have a drink. She heard a dirty joke. She woke up and she was like, "Hey."
Mhm.
And she goes, "I felt really alert about it and everything was fine." So
Great.
Um, but those are those moments, right? That you get those little flashes of our loved ones, and you just gotta hold on to them because it's like, okay, why could I smell a cigar smell in my car? Now maybe it was the environment and maybe it was all that, but I just and the audio kept starting and starting for this webinar, and I was like, okay, Gary, you want me to send this to her so that she knows you're on an adventure, a great adventure.
Yes, it is funny how things like that show up, you know,
Yeah.
and they guide us in certain ways. And you're like, okay, mama, I hear you.
Yeah, I
I
hear you.
hear you.
Well, I want to give you guys an update on the Kindle.
Oh, yeah.
Remember from the last episode, I lost my Kindle?
Yes.
I found it.
Mhm. Yes, because I want us to remember your thought was if I get so upset,
Yes.
the universe will bring back my lost item. So if I lose myself in anger and get so upset about this,
Yeah.
the universe will bring back my lost item.
Yeah. The universe will go, "Oh, we get it. You're that upset. Let's give it to you."
She suffered long enough. Shannon Mahoney will now get to receive the one lost item that she needs.
The curtains part, the gate opens. There's like little like creatures singing, "Oh," right? So
Ah,
I I get a phone call. I too had scheduled a massage for after the mountain. It's on Monday. And I was like, I scheduled a massage and but they called me and they were like something was wrong with the time and they're like, "Can we move it to Monday?" And I go, "Hey, did, did I leave my green Kindle? I stopped by to see about my appointment time. Did you find my green Kindle?" And she goes, "Yeah, it's right here." And I go, "No way." And she goes, "Yes." And she goes, "It's right here." And then I started to think about all the things I needed to do for her. I was like, do I need to go buy her flowers? Do I need to give her a tip? Do I need to do like part the seas, open the gate, sing a song? And I was like, no, you don't need to do anything. Just say thank you. That is plenty. That is gratitude.
mhm.
Just say thank you. So I did say thank you. I got my Kindle. I got to finish the book. And so I found it, everyone. I found it. After I calmed it down, I found it.
Isn't that funny? Nervous
Yeah.
system regulation does wonders.
Yes.
We don't use it enough.
No, we
And
really do.
that is my journey over this summer. Different ways to regulate my nervous system that aren't just about breathing. You
Okay.
know, I've been working with my vibration plate.
Thank you.
I mean, doesn't excuse exercise. It's to move out the tension.
Get the tension out.
I do find myself itchy after I use
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
yes, and then it's like I'm just so like itchy. I'm trying to get
Yeah,
my
yeah.
foot
I
under
felt that
there.
when I sat on your
Oh,
plate. I could feel that itchiness too. That itchiness. I could feel it in my legs. Like it felt like after, in school I used to go running
yeah.
to get through my tension because I get really stressed out in grad school. And so then I would go running. And that itchiness is after I would run from shaking, right? Because it's the
Yeah.
body shaking and pounding against the ground. Yeah, I got that same shaky feeling too, or that itchy feeling.
I'm gonna try some Reiki. I'm gonna do acupuncture again because that does work, but I get stressed out trying to get there during the week, like
Okay.
work into there. It adds more stress than it does good. So I'll start that this summer too, and some couple of other things.
Me and the hubby went to our first yoga class together. Let me start again, just so you know. Have I been to yoga before? Yes. Has this person ever gone to yoga? Uh-uh. Have they taken an online class? Oh, yeah. So we are doing like a 2 week, you sign up for a 2 week class and you sit and you take yoga.
Is
Am
it
I
couples
so
yoga?
excited that I can hardly stand it? I'm vibrating with happiness. I'm like this. I'm like, be chill. Like, so we always go to yoga. We're a yoga couple, but we're not. This is a big deal. This is growth, people. This is growth.
Is it couples yoga where you get to do the poses together? Okay.
No, that'd be cool.
Just
This is
regular
just
yoga.
this is just
You're not
yoga.
taking him to hot yoga, are you? He'll drop
He'll die.
just
We'll
regular.
all die.
Yeah.
Hot yoga is hard.
I've done hot
No,
yoga with you. I didn't like it.
it's hard. It's intense. No, this is they. I don't know what it.
And I did
It's
hot yoga in Pasadena.
it's intense. No, this is like this is. I don't know what kind of yoga it is, but it seems to be. They have a lot of like stretching. Like relaxation. It's a lot about there's a lot of chanting. It's a lot of it feels like it's like we did vinyasa flow, but the first like 10-15 minutes was just like opening up the chakras and like just breathing. And then the last 10 minutes were breathing. Whereas like the hot yoga is like you warm up for a bit, but then you just flow, flow, flow for basically an entire hour, or like it's 50 minutes. And this was really more like maybe 10-15 minute warm up, 10-15 minute flow, 10-15 minute like meditation. So it was really more about
Restorative.
oh, thank you.
I like that.
Y'all, Jen is a certified yoga instructor.
Well,
So yeah, it was more restorative. Thank you. And so
that's
that was
perfect.
really cool. Um, yeah, so that was really fun. And I had to remember I saw another new person and I turned to them and I go, "Are you new too?" And then I felt a little bit like I was like Nemo's kid in Finding Nemo. Like I was like, first day of school, first day of school. I was like, "Hey, are you new?" And then I was like, simmer down, Mahoney. Let's keep our enthusiasm in check.
I love your enthusiasm.
Yeah, I was super excited. I was like, let's go. Let's go. Okay, my sister for my birthday got me one of these bracelets. Um, I don't even know that you have a little QR code and it attaches you to a little creature like in the
What?
sea. Yeah, I know. Like some have sloths, some are sea turtles, some are hammerhead sharks, some are whales. And then it like you get like a little your phone gives you an update and says
You're tracking them?
Well, like let's say mine
You're
is like,
stalking a sea creature?
well, let's say mine is Sally the sloth. Sally the sloth has climbed up her tree today. Like they don't, sloths don't go very far, so you're just getting like they've only moved 4 inches, right? So
Wait, did you get a sloth?
no, I got a shark.
What's the shark's name?
I haven't clicked on the QR code. I've just been wearing the bracelet, so I'm gonna keep you updated. My sister got a sea turtle, and she said she felt like the sea turtle just moved and then didn't, like, just swims around its little area. She goes, so it's like she's like, I'm waiting for it to travel and migrate back to the other spot. She goes, it's hardly moving at all. So
You
she goes,
want
I
your
got,
sea turtle to be social and adventurous.
yeah. So she gave me a shark. She goes, so yours should be sign up for it because it should be all over the place.
This is like our nano babies all over again.
You're welcome. Maybe or maybe not, this will be your birthday present. So don't get yourself one.
Well, right now I am watching the lady that is rowing from California to Hawaii, and she's a little off track, and I've been stressed out about it. She's like to be the first woman to row from California to Hawaii, but she's supposed to be going in this line, and right now she's rowing like this, like Shannon rowing.
What, like, does anybody tell her she's off? Does she have a compass? Like, or like
Yes, she
that
has.
seems,
I don't know, because she only on social media like gives us little updates, but we can see on the little
but she's too,
yes,
she's off. You
yes.
guys, can you like, well, first of all, like just climbing a mountain, like I'm aware of time. Like we knew you had to, you have so much time, weather, there's so many factors in your place, right? But yesterday at yoga, we had to put our arms in the air and pull them down and go, like you had to do it for 1 whole minute. I'm smiling because I'm thinking my body is going to be so happy. And then she goes, I felt like it was an eternity. And then she goes, 50 more seconds. And I was like, 50 more seconds? 10 seconds felt like an eternity. Everybody's eyes were closed, and this is me. I was so happy. And then she goes, 50 more seconds. And I was like, 50? I've already been doing this forever. So can you imagine like rowing and being like, after, like, I'd be like ready to tap out. Like, and
Yeah.
she's like, you're not even halfway there. This is going to take you forever. Like, you just have to keep going.
Mhm.
I don't think that's my next project.
Try playing with a bunch of first graders or a bunch of kindergartners that want you to play the made up games. And you're like, oh, no, I can't do that. And they're like, why? And I'm like, I'm too old to do that. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, what about this? Can you climb through this tunnel and then move over here? And I'm like, no, I can't do that.
No.
I go, what I can do is take this little rolly chair and I could
Can you fit through this tunnel? No, that's not going to work for me. But what can you do after? You said no so many times that they finally are like, but what can you do? And you're like, well, what I can do is take my chair and spin it around. And they're
Yeah.
like, great. Can I spin? Nope, you can't spin, but I can. That's what I can do.
Well, I have introduced these little balls. So when they take little breaks, we take a flower vase and then we try to shoot the little balls into like the flower vase and we back it off the meditation chair. But what I've discovered is that I bought too small of balls because they're little and so the balls go bouncing everywhere or they like to like throw them up. So I was like, okay, lesson learned too small. So then I bought the bigger super bounce balls, which were better because then they could handle them with their hands because, their hands are small and boys are not quite as coordinated as the girls. And I tend to have more boys taking breaks than I do the girls.
I love this.
So
So
the
it's
bigger
like
balls are easier for them. So, but then
it's
I
a
realized you get too many kids with too many balls in a really small like office, it's dangerous. And then so I'm always like, okay, that was not the smartest idea. We'll revamp that idea, Jennifer.
when I used to when you first start teaching dance classes, you always have to teach, you get the baby classes first. You get the 3 year olds. Nobody wants to teach the 3 year olds, right? So that's the first class you're going to get is if you're like, yes, I'd like to teach at your dance studio, they're like, great. You teach 3 year olds and you're like, pass. But that's the way in. Unless you like have some like special, like you can do hip hop or something really special that nobody else can do. Not me. I won't teach ballet. So that's where you have to start. So you have to teach them. And that's when you learn, like, when you lose control of the classroom, you go crisscross applesauce, and everybody like drops. And then you go, everybody stands up, and everybody stands up, and you go crisscross applesauce, almost like you're like a a commander or something in the military. But it's just to stand up and sit down. So you condition them to like stand up and they're really excited, and then drop down and sit on their butt, and then stand up. And you do like a couple times, and then you're like, okay, let's just sit here for a second. Otherwise, like if two of them start to run around the classroom, like, or the balls start going everywhere, you're like, it's mayhem. There's no way to get them back on track
No.
at all. Because no matter what, they're like off, like they can't, like, I can't find my ball. And you're like, crisscross applesauce. And they're like, but I can't find my ball. I can't find my ball. Like they won't stop with that repetitive like narration. Like you're like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
crisscross applesauce. Oh,
Touch your bubble.
oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Makes them stop like talking right away.
Then they're just no. Well, that's a good one. I
Hmm.
don't think it's a. You guys, when it was time for me to stop teaching dance class, Jennifer knew it way before me. I used to teach like 10 hours of dance a week, and I did this for a long time. And I started to say about 4 years before I gave it up. I was like, 4 years. I was like, I don't know if I'm up for this anymore. And Jen goes, yeah. And then, she'd be like, when and I'd go, and she goes, so are you going to sign up for classes? And I'd be like, I don't know. They seem like they really like me. And then they would ask me to sign up. And then I liked that they wanted me to sign up the studio. So then I would
You hear
sign
that
up.
pattern right there? Do you hear that pattern? Oh
Yeah.
my
Like,
God.
what? So I'd sign up again. And every year I'd be like, Jen, I think I'm getting closer. And Jen'd be like, oh, okay. And I'd be like, and she'd be like, did you sign up for classes again? I was like, well, they really liked me and they said they'd give me these more advanced classes. So I'm teaching all these advanced classes, but my heart's not really there. Right. Finally, the year where I was like, Jen, I didn't sign up for classes. She was like, I go, but I did sign up to be the substitute teacher. And she's like, of course you did. And I go, guess what? They call every week. She goes, of course they do.
Hmm. Hmm.
You're perfect. You're gonna be there.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'll probably ever go back to teaching full time because it's just you gotta love it.
Hmm. What I've learned is that you're going to get the same lessons because really it's just pattern recognition. And until you discover that pattern, the universe is going to give you the same lesson over and over again, only it's going to get bigger and bigger
Ooh,
each
mm-hmm.
time.
I
So,
agree.
you know, life doesn't get easier. We just get better at navigating it. But if we're going to choose to not learn the same
So
lesson,
true.
I get it. I'm still learning my lesson.
Right. No, no, no. That's such a good point. And I want to say it one more time. It's like, say it like it's really, really important. It's like the lesson isn't going away.
No,
Like the universe
the
doesn't go,
same
okay.
pattern. It's the same pattern. You have to start to recognize the pattern and change the pattern because
Mhm.
only you can change it. Change the pattern, pattern recognition, and then action to change the pattern. The universe will keep putting the same lesson in your life
Bigger.
until you change it, but it will get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right. And then you might find yourself going, and you're not going to be the only one, right? You might find yourself like, how does this always happen to me? Wait,
Yes.
what? Why am I always here?
Yes.
Why does this keep going over and over? It's like every relationship I'm in, this keeps happening. It's like, wait, what? Say it one more time. It's like, it's not going to stop.
Yes.
Why am I still here? Or like what Jen said, "Oh, that sounds like a
Yes.
pattern,
The
Mahoney.
same
Say it
pattern.
again."
Oh, but they liked me.
Oh,
They liked me. I stayed because they liked me, because
yeah,
they validated and affirmed me.
yeah,
We're working on
right.
that. We're still working on putting
Oh,
ourselves first. I get it.
it's
Yeah.
so hard. I just left a job, and they said they're amazing, amazing group. And but I was like, I'm looking for growth. I'm looking for opportunity. I'm looking for this. And so they go, we can give that all to you. And I go, but I've been here for a year and a half, and you haven't given it to me, or 2 years, or whatever. I've been here, and you haven't given it to me. And they go, we can give it to you now. And I was like, we like you. We really, really like you. And I thought, they like me. They really like me. And I was like,
No, but you're
no.
valuing yourself.
Mm-mm. I've got to stay above 65%. And if I do this, I'm going to drop below 60 and I'm not going to be happy. So that was like that high five where it was like, I'm not staying teaching these dance classes anymore. Am I good at it? Yes.
Mhm.
Do I enjoy it? Yes, I do enjoy it. But it's time for me to move on.
Mhm.
And it's okay to move on.
So when you make a different choice
Mhm.
and it impacts, others because you are a self-sacrificer and a people pleaser, they will push back. And then that makes the people pleaser very uncomfortable, because
Yeah.
I'm so uncomfortable, but I'm going to continue to put myself first because that's what I'm working towards. But
Yeah.
sitting in that uncomfortability when, you know, is hard. It is hard to do.
It's the work.
It's the
It's
work. But because of the work we're doing, we're modeling for our daughters. They will not have to, they'll have other patterns to break, but will not be the self-sacrificer, people
yeah,
pleaser.
that's right.
I love you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, honey.
What a big, huge thing to do.
It was like childbirth. I was like, never again. Once Kirk and I got back together, once he got down the mountain or at 50-50, and we had to take down camp, and then we had to hike down the second half of the mountain. And I was like, never again. And he goes, never again. And I go, never, ever again. He goes, I'm not a mountain person. I go, I am not a mountain person either. He goes, I'm a hiker. I go, I'm a hiker too. I go,
Mhm,
I'm not a mountaineer. I don't need to do this again. Never again.
mhm.
My backpack broke on the trip. Like many things start. I was like, see, it's a sign. My backpack broke. I'm not here. I have blisters on my feet. I was like, no. And it's like childbirth though. 2 days later, I was like, well, maybe in like a year. And Kirk goes, maybe in 2 years. I go, well, it's got to be sooner than 2 years. We're getting older. So it's like you
Oh,
suddenly,
yeah.
like all of a sudden, it's like you're like, but in your mind, you're like, never again to like maybe like, and that's so funny. Like
Yeah.
you're like you forget how hard it was. You're like, okay, maybe one more time.
Well, we're gonna do a hike, but not a crazy like mountain hike. I can't do that where I'm at.
No, no, you can't do it. It's
I would
not
like
good
to
for
do
you.
the Pacific Crest.
We're gonna do a portion of the Pacific Crest.
Hmm.
A portion of the Pacific Crest. That's what I'd like to do too.
Yeah.
It's nice, it's not terrible, and you don't have to carry that much weight on your shoulders. Which you're not carrying it really on your shoulders, you're carrying it on your hips. But potato, who cares? You get my point.
On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, rate those oatmeal granola, crunchy granola REI underwear.
Five,
5. Real treat.
five.
Was it the treat you were hoping for?
Yeah, they kept everything good. Um, that was great. My pee pad was awesome. That was good. Uh, there were all kinds of good things. There are like little funny things where you're like, okay, little snacks that I'm like always forever. I've outgrown Werther's Original. Nothing wrong with Werther's. They've been there for me and they are my car snack. I keep them even in my desk. But for a mountaintop climb, maybe something gummy or juicy like that.
Well, we did jelly beans for the Grand Canyon.
Oh, I like the jelly beans a lot.
They were delicious.
Yeah, that's good. See,
All right, my friend. Till
I
next
love it.
time.
All right. Mwah.
Yeah.
I love you too, honey.